Hey Chicken members, it's me, Monkey Chicken here, and the topic of today's video is Fallout 4. And with that, let's go and begin. Okay guys, in the past day or so, there's been a lot of Fallout news coming out, and as we get closer and closer to the release date, as you would expect, we're probably going to get some more. And yeah, I'll keep posting about it until eventually it comes out, and then I will pretty much sacrifice my soul so that I will then play Fallout 4 until the day I die. But until that day comes, we got some news for you to talk about. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is a video that you guys may have missed. It was a video made by Bethesda, and it highlights a perk called Big League, where it's essentially this guy going around smashing people's heads off. And it's amazing. It's the best montage in the entire world. I don't know why everyone doesn't do it. Not like smashing people's heads, but making more montages of funny Fallout things. Anyways, yeah. One of the things that I did want to mention, guys, is the perk itself. When they were actually taking it, it was a level 5 perk, and this had to do with like baseball bats and stuff. And I wanted to point out that what it said was that you would eventually do double damage and have a chance to cripple limbs and, you know, send someone's head for a home run, which is pretty freaking awesome and amazing. But it makes me think that maybe the other perks and whatnot will have the same damage deal, you know, whether it be like small arms, you know, pistols and whatnot, then eventually into like sniper rifles, laser weapons, and energy weapons and whatnot, because it lets you do double damage with them. And I hope that all of them you eventually get to do double damage with, because those monsters are going to get crazy powerful and whatnot, because you need all the damage output you can get when you're taking on death claws. So yep, it was just something I wanted to point out, that it was a level 5 perk when he did do that. So hopefully all the guns we get will eventually have those crazy kind of things that we could do, much like the bloody mess for like pistols and whatnot. Maybe for like the lasers, the final thing will be if you crit, you turn them into ash, and then you get the plasma thing, and then there'll all be all of the little crazy things. That's just my little thing. But yeah, let's go to move on to the next part, which is that apparently Fallout 4 is going to be preloadable for PC, which is to be expected, and one of the reasons why I actually did pre-order it on Steam is for the reason being that I will be able to preload it and just be able to play it as soon as it comes out. Downside of PC, you don't get crazy bundles, but upside, you get to preload things. But it is also going to be preloadable on Xbox and PlayStation 4, which is pretty cool. I haven't really played Xbox One, and by really played, I mean never. And for PlayStation 4, I only played it for a bit, and the few games that I did buy for it were all on disc, so I don't know if you were able to preload beforehand, but if you weren't, it's pretty cool that you're able to do it for Fallout 4, because I know I want to play it as soon as I possibly can. So yeah, cool. You're able to preload it on the consoles. It's a pretty awesome feature, and I like it. One of the next things is apparently there was leaked for like all the trophies for Fallout 4. By the way, links down below if you guys want to check it out. I link all the stuff that I talk about, so check the descriptions box below if you guys want to see what's going on in there. So yeah, just something I wanted to point out. And by the way, really quickly, I just want to mention, this is the internet. You know, sometimes things are fake, sometimes things aren't real, so grain of salt and all that kind of stuff. But some of the things that I did want to point out of this the trophy list, if they are true, one of the first things is apparently there's 20 Volt-Tech bobbleheads, which is pretty freaking crazy. If you guys remember from like Fallout 3, the bobbleheads were tied to like 1 point extra into your special stats, which is pretty crazy powerful when beforehand you had limited levels. But now if you don't have, well, since we do have unlimited levels and we can eventually unlock everything, it could be just kind of a little booster if you were able to take 2 points into like intelligence, 2 points into strength just from finding these bobbleheads, which would be pretty cool. Or they might go the route of Fallout New Vegas, where the globes that we collected were then sold for, I think, like $5 grand a piece or something like that. It's been a while since I actually sold those things. For the most part, I always just insta-kill house because I just want to rule the wasteland for myself. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those things played out. One of the things I wanted to mention from the trophies, one of the next things is kill 5 giant creatures. The picture itself kind of makes me look, well, to me, it looks like it could be like a behemoth, since it is talking about giant creatures and it's like a green thing in the background, which makes me wonder whether or not there's only 5 behemoths in the game. I think in Fallout 3 there was 5 only, maybe 10, I'm not sure. It's one of the two. But something that kind of caught me off guard in a way that made me think is that it's just 5 giant creatures. It doesn't say like 5 behemoths. So it makes me wonder whether or not there's going to be like giant red scorpions or like giant death claws or something else like that. Obviously not behemoth size, but maybe there might be gianter ones. And they'll have like a different class of either enemies because, you know, behemoths are subsection of super mutants, but maybe there'll be like a giant class or like a special legendary thing of a death claw where they're in like a giant class. So just something that I wanted to throw out there. And one of the next things that I wanted to talk about for this is reach max. Let me read it verbatim. Reach maximum relationship level with a companion. So I'm assuming this has to do with the fact that you're able to get in a relationship with the companions that you get on Fallout 4, which is pretty cool. It's just something I want to point out. I guess there's going to be some sort of a meter. I think in Skyrim, all you had to pretty much do is wear a necklace that was like from Mar or something like that when you wanted to find someone that you wanted to fall in love with. So it's kind of interesting that it's going to be apparently a meter, so it's like constant communication. So maybe if they're aligned with a certain I'm trying to think of it, what are they calling this game? Not factions, because that's what it was before. They called it groups or settlements or something like that. I can't remember the exact thing that they're calling it in Fallout 4. So maybe if they're tied to a certain settlement that you have to like become good there and then probably do like a personal quest here and there. I know in Fallout New Vegas, there was a few of them that had like their own story arc with their own multiple little things and stuff that they wanted to get done, which is pretty cool. So it'll seem that we'll probably be going down that route from Fallout New Vegas, going down with like different side quests and stuff, since you got to reach a maximum, as they worded it, relationship level. So that's going to be pretty cool that we got some also companions kind of side quests, because I always thought it was really interesting to get deeper into your companions' thought process and how they do things, instead of having them just be like monotone in a way of how they are when you were doing those side quests in Fallout New Vegas, that you got to almost kind of shape who they are and who they were going to be. It was pretty cool. I liked it. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the whole trophies. There's a lot of things in there, but if you guys want to read about them, you know, links down below, like I already mentioned. And apparently, the app for the Xbox One controller thing, the manual that's going to be for the Xbox One, was released, and one of the things they were talking about is the controller features and whatnot. And they were talking about how in the actual manual itself, it had a throw grenade button, and it also had a bash and sprint button, which makes me wonder whether or not you won't have to like go into your inventory, equip a grenade, and then throw it. Maybe you'll be able to set it as like something throwable, as a throwable thing, so you can have that kind of as like a side thing, like, oh, I got my gun out here, switch to a nade and then throw. And then maybe if you have like the throwing daggers, I imagine if you're doing javelins, you know, it's not something you're like, oh, let me just drop this bazooka, pull out a javelin and insta throw it. I imagine that if you have like javelins like what they were in Fallout New Vegas, you'll have to like hold those out and then throw them. But maybe if there's like throwing knives, grenades, or other such like materials, that you'll be able to do like essentially like a quick action to use them, which is pretty cool. And if you guys remember from like my old breakdown when the game first originally came out, and they were talking about what was it? I think endurance. It even said something about sprint, and now it's something that was already known to us. But it's pretty cool that we got a sprint button, which is really awesome, because it's something that we've always wanted, and I absolutely loved in Skyrim, is that I can run around and sprint. I remember that was one of the first things that like I created my ring for, is to like recharge my stamina and give me more stamina, this I could just run, like never stop running. You always need to run. And yeah, I thought that was pretty freaking awesome. One of the last things that we're going to be talking about is the director kind of got more in depth with modding cross-platform, and what he said was essentially through all these conversations and stuff, because there was a big string of conversation that he got into, and he was talking about how what they're hoping for is the mods that you make go cross-platform, if I read it correctly. And essentially what it's going to be is that when you make a mod for like PC, you'll be able to take that and put it on Xbox One and put it on PlayStation 4, which would be pretty interesting, especially when you think that a lot of mods that do come out for PC have to do with graphics and whatnot. So it'd be interesting to see exactly what things will actually be transferable onto consoles. I imagine some of them will be transferable in the sense that some of them will just make sense, you know, like, oh, just better things and like reshape modeling and stuff like that. I imagine those will transfer to consoles easily. But there's a lot of mods that get really intricate and do a lot of things on PC because we do have more horsepower. And I don't know if all the mods will really get transferable onto PlayStation into Xbox because of the fact that, you know, it's just something that's a PC thing. It's one of the main draws, and the reason why we're able to do that kind of stuff is because we usually have more horsepower than you guys. Just the thing. It's something that's still pretty cool that, you know, you can take a mod and kind of put it everywhere and whatnot, but I don't think you guys will be able to, like, add all the crazy things that we do. I know, for me, whenever I play Skyrim, there's this one called, like, Better Grass, and it makes everything just, like, more lush and beautiful and adds, like, I got one, like, random butterfly. Oh, God, I apologize. Like, random butterflies and all these different other kind of things, and it taxes my PC. I get, like, 40 frames or something like that. And it's chunky at sometimes, but it's worth it because everything just looks so beautiful. And I imagine things like that won't really go over well whenever you try to port them over to console. So, yeah, it was just something that I want to mention. I thought it was pretty cool. And, you know, guys, I think we're ending the video there. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm Monkey Chicken. So, I really got. Peace.